What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Oscar Valdez, Robson Conceicao. Get this. The judge admits to poor performance in offering a wide scorecard. In a sport where suspect scoring has become part of the game, one judge has taken ownership of his own contribution to the distributing trend. Veteran official Stephen Play agrees with the commentary that his latest judging performance warrants harsh criticism. Blay was among three ringside judges who had Oscar Valdez prevailing over the Brazilian's Robson Conceicao, which is now 16-1-8 KOs, this past Friday at Casino del Sol, AVA, in Valdez's childhood hometown of Tucson, Arizona, in a WBC junior lightweight title fight where many argued from a home viewing perspective while watching on ESPN that Conceicao deserved the nod. Blay had it 117-110, was joined by judges Omar Mentum, which is 115-112, and Chris Telles, which is 115 to also 112, in awarding the contest to Valdez. Quote, Blay said, "I have watched the fight and thoroughly analyzed it. The 117-110 score is not accurate and does not represent the actions in the ring." Blay admitted in an open letter as distributed through the WBC's social media team. He also states, "I feel I have let down my federation, the NABF, my organization, the WBC, and most importantly, our sport and the fighters inside the ring." The wide scorecard turned in by Blay was rightfully criticized as the Colorado-based judge never had Valdez trailing at any point in the 12-round title fight. Most observers were in agreement that Valdez lost no fewer than 4 out of the first 5 rounds before turning things around in the half. Blay had Valdez ahead 48-47 by that same point. In fact, scoring rounds 1, 3, and 4 in favor of Valdez, along with awarding all but one of the final 7 rounds to the unbeaten 2-division titleist. He said also, "I would like to share my thoughts publicly on the specific conclusions I have reached, important topics regarding judging in boxing. Close rounds. There were a few close rounds in the fight, and I made 2 mistakes. 1, not to score 10-10 in 2 rounds. I felt there was not a clear winner. 2, scoring those 2 champion, giving him the benefit of the close action. Close noise influence. It was a loud crowd in favor of Valdez during the first rounds of the fight. Some actions took place in a corner in which I had limited view and couldn't see. Some punches landed by Conceicao, and there were no crowd action, contrary to when Valdez landed. I was also dealing with photographers and cameramen all crammed up due to the location of the champion Valdez. In the red corner to left of me, I was between the photographers on the left of me and camera crew to the right, who at times bumped me and blocked and even stepped on my hands while going across the ring apron towards the champ's corner. Considering these distractions, I honestly thought that I would be able to do my job 100% with no excuses." Wow. Those are the words of Stephen Blay, right? And let me counterpunch. I think that it was, to say the least, at least he did explain. At least he did say something, but I think this is all a cop-out. Because reading all this shit that I just read to you, what is the end result? Conceicao still has 1 loss, which he doesn't deserve due to what he just explained. Nothing has been done about it. No one's saying that they're going to overturn it. They're going to call it a no contest. None of that. He's just saying, I apologize because people were in my way. And the crowd had me favoring the champion because he was from that hometown. All of those are no excuses, no exceptions, okay? Because to rob a person that's undefeated, mind you, just anyway, he didn't have to be undefeated, but they were both undefeated. You had a gold Olympian Brazilian fighter that came in here. He boxed Oscar Valdez in his own town. He showboated a bit. People don't like that. Mexicans don't like that. But who gives a shit what people don't like? Okay? He won. He outlanded Oscar Valdez. He outpunched Oscar Valdez. Power shots, jabs, everything around the board. There was not one thing in that fight that Oscar Valdez did more than Conceicao. Okay? So just because he was explaining his scorecard doesn't mean dick. Okay? Doesn't mean anything. Okay, so what this read, this is a guy that's apologizing for having a piss poor scorecard, you know, and he wants some type of courtesy badge of honor for that. No. You know, if you're going to do something, hey, I would like to overturn the fight, step down, you know, write to the WBC that this gets overturned due to the fact that I did not score my scorecard rightfully, accurately. That's what he should do, okay? So that's what we have in the sport, because if he couldn't see things, or if he was influenced by the crowd, what makes you think the other two judges aren't? Counterpunch. So if he is just coming forth because maybe he's feeling guilty or whatever the case is and why, I think, honestly, he had to explain to someone. So he wrote this letter to explain himself and why his shit didn't look like the other two judges. You know, because, see, the problem was that it was close. It wasn't even close. I had that round. I had it 7-5 or 8-4 in favor of Rob. I gave Oscar rounds 3, rounds 10, and rounds 12. He could have won another round in there, sure, but that's only even if you gave him another round, that's still 4 rounds. And 5 rounds of 7, and that's being very lenient. Okay? But given the fact that these guys, of course, they took a point, and the ref, you know, the ref was in on it too. This is just the first of many problems about that night in that fight. Okay? That was just the first. Poor judges. Okay? It was other things. Bad refereeing. You know, you take a point away from a tap on the head, but then when the hometown boy whacks him intentionally behind the head with a harder blow, you just give him a warning, but you take a point from the other guy. And let me let you guys in on something. I noticed the trend where fighters that they don't have a good night and they can't hit their opponent, the first shit that comes out of their mouth is, oh, he was running around the ring, he was running. Well, that's funny, because a person can run around the ring and still outpoint you and out-hustle you. How in the fuck is he just running? So he's doing a lot of moving and still outpointing you. So that means you need to cut off the ring and track him down and score your points. Hit without being hit. This wasn't a Regan Dow and the Filipino fighter from the other week, right? This ain't that type of fight. Regan Dow was moving without punching. This guy was moving, punching, dipping, dobbing, slipping, dipping, right? He was doing everything that he wanted to do to Oscar Valdez. Look at Oscar Valdez's face. Look at his face. His face is busted up. He got split in the 10th round, and that's the round that I gave Valdez, right? He didn't land the harder shots. There was no knockdowns. You know, so there was nothing that to define Oscar Valdez as the winner. Besides, he was just a hometown homeboy. This is what they should do, all right? First of all, this needs to be a no contest, right? This needs to be a no contest. Second, it cannot be in fucking Tucson, Arizona. This needs to be somewhere in Mississippi, Chicago, Miami. Miami would probably be ideal because, they can get the crowds there and they can do this over again. But they have to take that away, And look, and I haven't even mentioned that Oscar Valdez don't even supposed to be fucking fighting anyway because he failed 2 drug tests before the fight. So I appreciate the judge at least feeling guilty enough to, or forced to make this particular explanation in this article, but it doesn't mean anything if you're not able to make this right. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Stephen Blaze apologies towards his scorecard. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.